Action Taimanin didn't have a conventional start to life. The series started off as an eroge, aka hentai visual novel, while Action Taimanin was the first in the series to not be strictly for adults. It's also the first to be pushed towards a Western audience. While this inevitably caused the erasure of the more mature themes, it didn't cut the appeal of the female leads. But is this mobile game just a thirst trap? Or is it something worth playing? Launching Action Taimanin displays its best assets straight from the beginning. And while looks are pleasant, they're far from carrying the game. If you dive a little bit deeper into the game, there are 6 different currencies, and while earning most of them are feasible, your early game experience will be a grind to climb the initial wall. Once you pass this and streamline the grind, the second wall won't hit you until around the 50-hour mark, which is where I am, and while it isn't the most aggressive with its microtransactions, it also constantly reminds you that they're there. The story is also bland and failed to draw me in. It's heavily rooted to Action Taimanin's visual novel roots. This game is text heavy, like really bad in some places, which is bizarre considering the quality of the in-game cutscenes isn't anything to knock at. It actually looks pretty decent for a mobile game. They could have easily cut the text down and added more cutscenes and played to its monster a day kind of feel. I think this would have played more to the mobile market that likely skipped most of the text anyway, like I did. There wasn't enough done here to reward the player's time. The aesthetics. For a mobile game, the visuals of Action Taimanin are quite sharp. While there are some clipping issues with the breasts and wrists, collision and like almost like PlayStation era, like polygon sliding kind of thing. The design of the ladies are good. The grunt villain design, however, feels a little bit more generic and occasionally feels out of place when compared to other assets. The non-female bosses often fit with the design aesthetics, but are repeated a little bit too often. The music is pretty generic. There's really nothing memorable here. It's just designed to be tuned out. Again, it's a mobile game. The sound design is fine. Again, nothing exceptional. It's a mobile game, and that's not an excuse, but you gotta set your limitations, and it's nothing to really take note of. But the voice work here is actually pretty solid. The gameplay. Action Taimanin's combat is fairly shallow when compared to conventional hack and slashes. However, considering touchscreen's limitations, there is enough depth here for a mobile market. Changing the dedicated weapon swap button to another attack type could have actually added a lot here, and it's just one simple change. The PvP aspect of the game is automated and not something that you'll touch until you're a while into the game. It's arguably the most boring part of the game, yet it's the most resource intensive. And that's because the rewards that you can get out of it are actually potentially good, but the climb to get there is just a slog. I'm about like midway through the ranking system, and I'm starting to see more favorable rewards, but you don't really get like good stuff until you're in the end game, and it just there's not enough there to really pull you. You know, you're just watching a fight, so it's kind of boring. The story. Text heavy stories are hard for me to get into. This is something my brother has often said to me, and is true to a point. It just has to be really interesting. But there's nothing here that pulls me in. I try to watch some of the early cutscenes and dialogue sections to get into the story, but it's a mobile game, and you're not really going to be paying attention to stories and stuff while you're just playing it on when you're on break at work, or on public transport, or while taking a shit. You're not going to pay attention. You just want to get to the gameplay. And while having a story isn't a bad thing, again, it just doesn't pull you in. It's just simpler to skip it and press buttons to get to the actual part of the game that's worth any time, and that's the gameplay. Alright, now after that, it's time to put it onto our ACE scale, which is, again, accessibility, convenience, and experience. Action Taimanin has reasonable accessibility. It's voice acted in Japanese. Again, excellent work here. But it provides a subtext for every conversation, so you can read it. So it doesn't matter in that regards. If you're deaf, you're still getting the same experience as non-Japanese speakers. It also provides adjustable text speeds if you need it. The simplicity of the gameplay also kind of adds to the accessibility to a larger audience. But its higher difficulties do require a grind before attempting, rather than being skill based. It's all about stat optimization, not about your actual skill. Like, you can dodges and stuff, but it's mostly about the support units that you're using and the damage outputs. I tried doing harder difficulties with a current, with relevant equipment that I had at the time, and you just can't. At least you can get into the game if you don't have as good of a skill, and you can still progress if you don't have as good of a skill. But it's just going to take you time to be there. And I guess they didn't really think that they knew this going in, because they didn't add the story segments to any of the difficulties except for easy. So I guess they expect you to only actually attempt to view it once. Convenience. Action Taimanin is available on Android, Steam, and maybe iOS. I wasn't able to confirm this, but while I was not running into any issues, the aggressive walls and microtransactions, while not the worst, is still worrying. A sudden update could easily make the grind worse, and while I recommend supporting free-to-play games if you really enjoy them, the manipulation here is worrisome, and honestly, I don't think there's enough here to warrant you putting in any sort of money. Experience. The gameplay is decent enough for a mobile game, but is far too bland for anything else. Updates are focused on the events and new things to try to tempt you into spending money, rather than doing any sort of balancing, or they do add new levels through the events, but it takes every step it can to try to tempt you to spend money. The PvP is either pay to win or grind to win, and the grind in this game is horrific. When you hit walls, it can just take you forever to get over that wall. Now, on the opposite side of the wall, usually it's smooth sailing for quite a while, but whether it's going to retain your attention enough beyond that is, I guess, down to you. So in the ACE scale, we have the don't play, avoid, meh, decent, and must play. Action Taimanin gets an avoid. If you never plan to pay any money for anything in this game, by all means play it. It's okay. The combat, again, is decent for a mobile game. While it may be a decent little time waster, when the best part of the game is to have it played on mute while listening to podcasts or on the toilet, that doesn't really bode well for its quality. This game could easily go up to a meh just by making the game a little bit less grindy. When the money you spend only adds to more stuff to grind or pay towards, then it's a trap rather than a steady improvement. There are also free adult mods floating around if that's your thing. Whether or not they would work on a mobile phone or you want them on a mobile phone. But again, it is on Steam if that's your thing, but there's honestly nothing exciting here. Ultimately, there just isn't enough in this game to warrant much of your time. But as a $0 entry, low skill ceiling, with high availability, it can entertain you for a little while. Just don't spend too much money in it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, check out one of my other videos up here. I'm debating on the next review, so let me know if you have any suggestions. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.